Hello everyone, welcome back. Get that cleaned up. Here's what's new. All right, so where we left off yesterday was making the crossbar for the tack mount, which is actually working quite nicely. I still have to make a lower. This is supposed to be at a 90 down and back because that nut or bolt and that bolt are supposed to get threaded into the bottom of the original triple, which I don't have currently. So this thing's got a bit of wiggle, which is also the mount for the fairing. So I need to weld on another bracket at the bottom, so that's actually got something to thread into, which should be a lot easier welding some more of this plate steel to this plate steel because it's all the same. Man, I don't have to worry about castings popping back on me. But I'm happy with that. I think that's worked out rather nicely. Next step currently, is to fairings kind of mocked up, just kind of sitting where about it's gonna be sitting. Oh my goodness. It's sitting kind of far out. I'm not crazy about it, but with that getting pushed up, there's just not much of a gap. There's enough, about a half a fingertip's worth between there. So that can't go down or back any further than it currently is. So I'm gonna have to live with that. Such is life. Current dilemma is this guy. So I pulled the original mount off the Octane original triple, cut the zip tie mount off that the harness was originally zip tied to. Now this goes, let's see if I can do this one hand. Oh, hey there. So I gotta go there and I gotta come from there. So my thought is to get some of this 1/4-inch aluminum plate. No, I'm gonna mock it up with some scrap. It looks janky because it looks, I don't want it to look like I just bolted on a piece of 1/4-inch plate with a bend in it. So I'm gonna try to dress this up. I'll grind this down. I'm gonna grind this casting line down. I'll drill another hole over here, tap that, helo coil both of them, and have the bracket bolt into the lower triple. And it's basically gonna go up, angle back, and then back up. And the headlight will bolt through-wise into the mounting bracket. I'm not overly joyed with how, I guess, simple it's gonna look. So I'm gonna kind of put some nice bends in it, do my due diligence with grinding to make it look one with the triple. I would weld it if I had more of these floating around and I could just trash the part if it didn't weld right. I'll bolt it. If I don't like it, I can still pull the triple off, take it to a welder, have them TIG weld it on, and I can be happy with it that way. In the meantime, this is gonna have to work. All right, we're back. So, I gotta tell you, the hardest part of this entire swap has been making this thing continue to look like an Octane. Hands down, the hardest part. It's been making the original parts fit the Gixxer front end, not making the Gixxer front end fit the bike. That was easy. It's two bearings and about an hour's worth of fine grinding on that stupid stem lock key brace pad, whatever they call it. So this is what I got for a headlight mount. That's the original mounting post that mounted off that little triangle off the front end. There's a hole here originally on the lower that's threaded. Don't know what it was for, but it was there. So I just copied it to the other side, ground this parting line flat on the back, got this piece of 1/4 inch aluminum, cut it, put a bend in it, got a bunch of tape on it so it kind of, for the most part, holds its position, hopefully enough to support a headlight. I'm gonna slap the fairing on it, stick the headlight housing in it, and see how that fits. So I tried grooving it and then bending it, but went a little crazy with the bend and snapped it. So I actually stacked the crack section and then folded it back. That wasn't how I originally intended it to be. I think originally, here's my paper template. I was going for, I think, some more angle here, something like that, as opposed to something like that. But I think with flipping the post around, because I had it pointing, this was tilted down originally, and I think was mounted to the top instead of the bottom. I think this might work. Hoping, because that crack kind of puts it up in a nice position. So we'll see. What's going on, guys? Okay, so I've made some progress. I've fallen behind the 8 ball here and start working before I started filming. So I gotta catch you guys up. Here it is. So we're back down to bare frame. We're at pretty much the finishing stages. Both forks have been gone over visually, cleaned, tried to clean the seals, knocked off some birds that were on the upper leg. Wheel got repainted, very loosely repainted with some electrical tape. It's gonna get a new tire eventually. When I get a new tire, I'll strip the whole thing down, probably see if I get the wheel powder coated or properly painted. We'll find out down the road. Triple's been painted. I cut the tab off for the, my goodness, the dampener thing, the steering dampener, off the jigsaw because I've got nowhere to put it on this. 2 holes got drilled for the headlight mount. This is the final result on that. Just a little simple plate. Yes, I cut it in half and then didn't have enough material. So I figured, good opportunity to practice my TIG welding. Grinder and paint make me the welder I ain't. Currently, I'm monkeying around with the brakes. So I want to reuse the Octane lever, reservoir, and mirror because it looks right with the bike. The problem is the Gixxer lever has a higher ratio, or I don't know if it's a ratio difference, if it's a point, like where it stops and where it holds fluid. So the result I was getting was a consistently spongy lever. I can hear it grabbing. I can hear these things kind of shifting back and forth when I hit the brake, hit the lever. But it was just spongy. It'd get to about, I don't know, I'd get about 1 inch in on the throw, and then past that, it'd be all sponge, and I could bottom it out. So I was getting ready to call it quits on the bleeding when I noticed right in there, it's hard to see, is a set screw. It's a set screw that has a cup on the other side to push on the plunger for the hydraulics. I tried just adjusting it without taking this off and proceeded to snap 2 bits. So I decided, you know what, let me take this off. There's a plastic cap that I've seemed to have lost. Put it down somewhere, and I must have forgot I put it down and kicked it. Pop the cap off, take the nut off the bottom. This unthreads. Pulled this off, heated this with my little butane torch, and sure enough, it cracks free. They put green Loctite in there. Do not try turning that without applying heat, because you are not going to move it. You will continue to break bits or whatever you're going at it with. A little bit of heat, cracked right loose. I took the Loctite off so I can kind of get things set. So I ran that screw in. Don't really have a point of reference right now, just kind of going by feel. And sure enough, I'm getting pressure about there, which is great. You know, I'm like just barely in. And before I was bottoming this thing out. Now that's full lock. That's won't go any further, which is fantastic. And I mean, that feels firm, so I'm happy with that. It also looks like, I don't think I tightened that screw down enough. Apparently, where's my 5/16? I know it's not a 5/16, it's an 8, but my 8's gone missing. That's tight. All right, leave it alone. So I think I'm going to leave it as is. Now I'm thinking about it, doggone it. I'm bottoming out the plunger inside the reservoir. That's what that feeling is. Interesting. Yeah. But I mean, it's firm. We're gonna try it. If it doesn't work, then the jigsaw lever is gonna have to go on, and I'm gonna have to figure something out for making that look right. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start Zeusing some of this stuff back on. This upper triple should be dry. Still tacky. Well, actually, I don't think I showed you guys this. So that's the new triple. Not new, it's the original triple. But I got that bracket aluminum soldered on there, and then welded another plate to the bottom. Drilled, tapped, and heel coiled that for an M6x1. So now the gauges and the fairing, at least the top mounts on the fairing, all bolt up exactly as they did before with the original parts. Where's my fender? Oh. So, it looks a lot closer in the picture than I think it does in real life. This is kind of a bright white, and this kind of has an eggshell color to it. Yeah, it's a better shot. This is a Toyota Pearl. Start putting this back together. So I figured out a trick. If you ever have to take your clutch lever off for whatever reason, take an adjustable, put it here, and you wrench it down, pop your clutch cable out, and then release it. And now your clutch cable is loose without having to mess with your adjustment. And so to pull it back on, all you would do is get back on there, burn it down, pop the cable back onto it, and that's it. Easy as pie. Now you don't have to screw with yours anymore. Alex Gonzalez. So I've been struggling with the last thing that I've needed to do on this bike, and it was steering stops, because the triple was contacting the tank on both sides. And so the original Octane triple uses 2 tabs at the top of the stem and on the bottom of the triple right here. Those are your steering stops. No, I don't have access to that anymore. Nor do I have the space, because the bottom of the Gixxer triple is not smooth. So with some Googling, grab the remnants. That's what got left behind. That's what I started with. Hang on, before you think that's hokey. I mean, and it's contacting the frame, and I'll. How are you now? So, I very quickly realized after editing this video that I never finished. So, that last couple seconds, you hear me explaining about my hockey puck steering stops, and while I was showing the kind of travel I had a bar clamp on the other grip for some reason. I forget what I had it there for. And when I pulled the bars to show the range of motion, I ended up running that bar clamp right into the tank. And I was very upset. And I shut the camera off and forgot to finish recording. So, yeah, I ended up using hockey pucks that I drilled holes into, split it, temporary thing. I ordered BMW, some kind of naked bike. Some BMW naked bike has fork-mounted steering stops. So in place of the hockey puck, did the same job in the same manner, but looks not like a hockey puck. So got those ordered, got those on the bike. So far, it's been smooth sailing. The front end's been great. I eventually did go back to the Gixxer Master. Bought a new one because there's an open recall for Gixxer's 2003 to, it's like 13. It was $130 for a new one from Partzilla. I will look for the part number, and I will put the part number for that Master in the description. Ended up rebuilding the forks, resealing the forks, because the seal started leaking. Put new dust boots in it from All Balls Racing with some 10 weight Maximo oil. So far, it's been great. No complaints. One complaint. The wheel's small. The wheel is about an inch smaller than the Octane stock wheel. Not a big deal, because the fender kind of blends it in a little bit, but if you have it sitting next to another Octane, you notice it. And that's probably my only complaint about the whole front end. I think down the road, I'll probably look at getting another wheel, something bigger. I might have to look for a custom wheel. I don't know if they make 17-inch Gixxer wheels. I just have to find a 17-inch wheel with the right spacing, set up for a dual rotor, and that should work. I'd have to relocate the mounts for the fender, but that'd be it. Ended up using little P clamps for the bottom fairing mounts. This little like strap clamps. put it around, put a little bend in it, ran the bolt through it, mounted it there, and haven't had any issues with that. But I think that's been it. And if there's anything I can think of, I will update shortly with what I find. Thanks for watching my very lengthy video. Sorry for all the rambling and chatting. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Good luck on your build if you decide you want to do it. If you got any questions, leave comments below. Ring the bell. Subscribe. Enjoy.